This is the Dynasty Market Report, where we look at a specific asset in Dynasty Fantasy Football, a player or a pick, and we look at how it's moving currently in the market, and we try to determine should you be buying, selling, holding on that pick or player. Today we are looking at Jayden Daniels, quarterback for the Washington Commies, coming into his third year. Where does he stand? If you look back just this time last year, he was one of the most valuable pieces in Dynasty, but things have not quite gone his way. I think that's a fair way to put it. Jayden Daniels missed a lot of time this year with multiple different injuries, and I think what we're seeing is a player that runs a lot and has a body size that is going to be more likely to get injured, getting more injured. One of the knocks against Jayden Daniels coming out of the draft a few years ago was he is not that big and he runs in a way where he can get hurt. And having 1 year where he didn't get hurt doesn't make a player less likely to become injured when they're a running quarterback like that. We've seen running quarterbacks miss time. Like Lamar Jackson missed time this year. He has missed time in multiple years of his career, and that could be the future for Jayden Daniels. So his value's taken quite a bit of a hit. Hasn't played in a while. And what do we think the outlook for the Commanders is going into next year? It's unknown. It's unknown. I've pulled up their pending free agents. They're losing guys like Terry McLaurin. Zach Ertz is set to be a free agent on top of the ACL tear that he had. And then they didn't have that many options on their offense anyway. Austin Eckler had been ruled out for the year with an Achilles injury. He is now a free agent. It's unlikely he returns. It's unlikely Zach Ertz returns. Deebo Samuel is now a free agent. They could bring Deebo Samuel back, but we don't know. There's a new offensive coordinator. There's a ton of churn on this offense. What do we think could happen for Jayden Daniels? I mean, luckily for the Commies, they have a lot of cap space, and there are wide receiver, running back, and tight end free agents available. So if we just naming names, George Pickens, Alec Pierce, Wan'Dale Robinson, these guys are all free agent wide receivers. They could get someone like Travis Etienne, J.K. Dobbins, Rico Dowdle would help this running back room. Breece Hall is a free agent. At tight end, there's a lot of Cade Otton types that could come in and be good enough to boost Jayden Daniels back to where he was, the heights. This team made the NFC Championship his first year. I'm not going to say they can't get back there. They have the cap space. They have the 7th overall pick. They have a first round pick, a 3rd round pick, and then a couple of 5th, 6th, and 7th round picks. So they could bring in players that help get this offense back. A new offensive coordinator. I trust Dan Quinn to hire someone as good or better than Cliff Kingsbury. So I'm not overly doubtful about their year. It's just really gray. We don't know what's going to happen. And when we're looking at a situation like that in fantasy football, you don't have to wait to make a decision. You can gauge, is there a lot of room for upside? And if we look at his current value and keep trade cut, I think he could get back up to this kind of 9,000 range that he was at in the year. Wasn't quite as good of a player, had some injuries, but he's still young. He's 25, and there's a lot of upside. We could have more years like we've seen with Lamar Jackson's high-end output. That still exists for Jayden Daniels. Lamar Jackson hasn't had great pieces on offense throughout his run. It's really been Mark Andrews, maybe a year of Hollywood Brown overlapping, Zay Flowers. So Terry McLaurin and some free agents that they bring in can be good enough for Jayden Daniels to really shoot back up from where he's sitting at right now. 7,500, 7,600. They'll say that this is more than the 101. We're going to go through some real trades and get a gauge. Before we jump into that, let's take a look at what the other downside could be. A player like CJ Stroud, if you look at his all-time value, coming out of his first year, he was right there at the top. These numbers here, this is the top. This is where Jayden Daniels was last year. It was Josh Allen, Jayden Daniels, Jamar Chase at the top of startups. CJ Stroud, not that long ago, was in that range as the next Joe Burrow, and then it didn't happen. So it's possible that Jayden Daniels regresses more as we see him start and the offense takes a step back, missing O-linemen, maybe more injuries. But personally, I think the upside is there that I would be getting in at some of these prices. So if we were to look at some trades that have happened recently, we've got the scoring on the board here. Jayden Daniels for Omarion Hampton and a 27 first. I think with the positional upside and the room for a lot more value gain, I'll probably go I could take the Jayden Daniels side here. It's not a smash accept, but I'm going to lean Jayden Daniels. Jayden Daniels or Trevor Lawrence and Tucker Kraft. That one's easy. I mean, this has a full point tight end premium going with Tucker Kraft. I think I would still lean Jayden Daniels. Here, Drake London and Daniels or Stroud, the 209 and 409. That one, I don't know how someone got that trade through. I would take Daniels. That's a smash accept on that one. Daniels, Daniels versus Stafford, a 28 first and the 111. Give me Jayden Daniels. If we're looking to move on from an older player who maybe has 1 to 2 more years left, we think that's kind of the news that we've heard over the past couple off seasons is Stafford is coming on for another year rather than a 3-year deal. It's possible Stafford plays, age 37, 8, 39, 40, and has multiple years left. But you could just get the safety of Jayden Daniels. You're losing the 111 and a random 28 first. There's a very realistic chance that you trade away this 28 first. Jayden Daniels rebounds and gains a first round pick in value. And then you pivot off of Daniels and you get that 28 first back and grab a different quarterback. Here's another deal where I like the Daniels side. Penix, Cousins, you're just trading the Falcons room, the 201 and a random 27 first. Just give me Jayden Daniels. Justin Herbert and Kyle Williams. Kyle Williams had a lot of hype last offseason with the Patriots. That has not manifested this year. Now, that's not saying it won't, but just give me the Daniels side here. There's so much room for upside, and getting him at this price, I don't think this is at all an overpay to just say, I'm going to upgrade from Justin Herbert, who has also been injured and not quite hitting the high end of where we think he'll be. We'll cover him tomorrow, and going to Jayden Daniels. Give me Daniels. Jamar Chase or Jayden Daniels and Mason Taylor in a full point tight end premium. I think I would want to have seen a little bit more from Mason Taylor to make that swap. And I feel like if you're taking the Jayden Daniels side, there's upside to get back to the Jamar Chase level of value and possibly more with Mason Taylor. But I don't think there's enough potential upside in Mason Taylor as an add-on. Like, you would need Jayden Daniels to fully rebound to what he had been doing, the rest of the quarterback market to take a slight step back, and then Mason Taylor to hit to gain value on this trade. Just give me Jamar Chase. Daniels, the 112 for the 101. If I'm trading the 101, give me Jayden Daniels in the 112. That one's pretty easy. I had to think about it, thinking would I do just the 101 for Jayden Daniels and maybe the 101 and more for Jayden Daniels? And then I realized I was completely reading it wrong. No, if I can send the 101 just for Jayden Daniels, I would. And then I get the 112 on top. I think that's fantastic. Trey McBride or Daniels and Mason Taylor in a half point tight end premium. If you have other tight end depth, if you have Harold Fannin, Gadsden, a good young tight end, or even just Jake Ferguson to get you through a year and we see what Mason Taylor is, I'd probably take the Daniels side. There's a lot of spots here where I am getting in on Jayden Daniels. Let me try to find one where I would move on from him. In the past week, we haven't really seen many of these deals that are kind of just isolating Daniels' value. Like here, Jayden Daniels for the 108, Cam Ward and Marv. It's close. It's close. You're hoping for upside from Marvin Harrison with a new coach. I don't know how Robert Saleh is going to handle the offense there. You're hoping for Marv to look better with a new offensive coordinator, and then the 108. Close, but I would just hang on to Jayden Daniels. If I'm trying to get off of Daniels and pivot down to Cam Ward, I'm not looking to down tier that far. If I'm moving on from Daniels, trying to get a cheaper quarterback, I would look at Brock Purdy, Baker Mayfield, Dak Prescott as the options, and then get first round picks on top of that rather than Cam Ward. I want to get something that's a bit cheaper just because of their age or because they don't run in Brock Purdy's case. Let's see if any other ones jump out. We covered this Stafford one. Maybe we'll scroll down. Is there a second page? Nope. So this is about where the market is. Here's one last one. And this is, it does not take me long to read this. Woody Marks, Trevor Lawrence, pick 205. Give me Jayden Daniels. If I can take all of this stuff and up tier to a much better quarterback and then pivot from that to other things, I would be very happy to do that. The last thing I'll say on Jayden Daniels is there's a ton of room for change this offseason, and all of that should see his value rise. Hiring a new offensive coordinator should help raise his value. Any sort of news that he is practicing and looking healthy, any sort of offseason, years ago it was like offseason Instagram clips. It might be TikTok now, but any sort of clips of Jayden Daniels working out will boost his value with your league mates. When they sign a wide receiver or a running back or a tight end, that will boost his value among their league mates. You're kind of just buying in before the good news hits at these levels on Jayden Daniels. So we'll call it a wrap there for JD. If there's a specific player you want to see covered on the Dynasty Market Report, let me know in the comments and we will add them to the list. I think tomorrow we're covering Justin Herbert. I wanted to give that an extra day with the news of the offensive coordinator signing. He was originally going to be done today. That's why he's getting an extra day. You didn't know that part. If this helps you make a trade in your league or helps you avoid a bad trade, let me know in the comments, and let me know with a like and a subscribe. And we will be back tomorrow, Monday through Friday, with another issue of the Dynasty Market Report. Thank you very much. We will see you in the next one.